If you've been waiting for Samsung to do something genuinely interesting again, this might finally be the year. Because the Galaxy S26 Ultra isn't shaping up to be a small step forward. It's looking like one of those upgrades that actually feels new. And if you're on an older Samsung, or honestly any Android phone that's starting to feel a bit tired, this might be the one you've been waiting for. Now, Samsung hasn't officially revealed anything yet, but the leaks are painting a pretty wild picture. And the closer we get, the more it feels like the S26 Ultra is going to be that phone everyone ends up talking about next year. So let's break down the biggest rumored changes that might actually make this thing worth getting. One of the most surprising upgrades is something I didn't think we'd see on a mainstream phone this soon: a built-in privacy display. Not the cheap film you slap on your screen. This is actual hardware that can hide what you're looking at from people around you, while still being perfectly normal to the person using it. But what makes this cool is how smart it's supposed to be. Samsung's reportedly tying this into AI, so the phone can auto-hide certain apps, certain content, or even react to the environment around you. If someone walks past, the screen can dim its viewing angles instantly. It's clever, but also a little creepy because that means your phone is constantly watching for people watching you. Another big change is in the camera. And it's not a megapixel war this time. Samsung's apparently widening the aperture on the main sensor, letting more light in. And honestly, that's way more useful than jumping from 200 megapixel to 300 megapixel again. Wider aperture means better low-light shots, better depth, and potentially cleaner night photos without that over-processed look. The trade-off? Samsung is reportedly bringing back a full camera island on the back, because there's no longer space for the floating lenses with this new setup. Some people will love the cleaner design, some will hate that it's less unique, but the image quality boost might be worth it. And then there's the thing nobody expected: an Ultra powered by Exynos. Yep, the in-house chip is rumored to be back at the very top. The 2nm Exynos 2600 is supposedly benchmarking ridiculously high, to the point where it might actually challenge or even beat Snapdragon's 3nm flagship in some areas. Now, Samsung probably won't release it everywhere just like the old days, but if these numbers hold up, this might be the first Exynos comeback story we've ever seen. Still, some people will avoid it purely because it's Exynos, no matter how good it is. Now, something a bit more subtle but still important: the design. Samsung seems to be leaning even more into the rounded look they started with the S25 Ultra. The S26 Ultra is rumored to be smoother, more curved at the corners, and noticeably slimmer. Comfortable? Definitely. A bit iPhone-like? Also definitely. And the slimmer body is actually part of the reason the camera island is returning. The old floating lens design just doesn't fit in something this thin. Some will complain, but honestly, if it feels better to hold, that's a win. And finally, Samsung is breaking the cycle. After what feels like a lifetime of 5,000 mAh batteries, we're finally getting something bigger. It's not a huge jump, around 5,200 mAh, but considering Samsung usually moves slower than anyone else on battery upgrades, this is still a big deal. Pair that with faster charging, 60 watts wired and 25 watts wireless. And the S26 Ultra might actually charge like a flagship again instead of a mid-range phone from 2019. Not groundbreaking, but absolutely overdue. So the S26 Ultra might not be flipping the entire smartphone industry on its head, but it's shaping up to be a genuinely meaningful upgrade across the board. Smarter display tech, better low-light camera performance, a surprisingly powerful in-house chip, a comfier design, and finally a battery upgrade that brings Samsung into the current era. But as always, I want to know what you think. Are these changes enough to make you upgrade? Drop your thoughts down below and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.